students, faculty members, and the colleagues. Before giving my concluding remarks, I would like to give my reflections on the four papers presented here and this session, which was named Pakistan-Poland Cultural Relations, Challenges and Opportunities. And I would like to share my one more reflection while sitting here, that the connectivity of the new internet connections are very good. In a manner, we can connect anyone from any part of the world instantly. And the downside is the participants, especially the students, when they are listening the speaker through connection or online, they have a lot of time to chat with each other. So this is a very good opportunity for the student to chat with each other, because the presenter is presenting his or her paper online. So thanks to the connectivity. Now, starting from the first paper by Ms. Amina Ali, she was of the opinion that sheltering the Ukrainian refugee in the Poland, the Polish people can learn from the experience of Pakistan while hosting Afghan refugees since long. There are many phases of hosting the Afghan refugee population on our soil. My point on this paper is that the Pakistan and Afghan hosting Afghan refugees is not a perfect model for the Polish people to follow, because of the fact that we have a very different dynamics we shared a very different dynamics between the two countries. Number one, we share physically the porous border, which is impossible to bar. Even if you are having a biometric system, if you are creating a barbed wire, all the walls, it is not possible to change the nature of the porous border. Number two, the linkages between the Pakistan and the Afghan tribal culture is very, very, very difficult to manage. We share the blood lineage, cultural things to share within the Pakistan and Afghan border. So there are many different dynamics also which we put under the unwanted elements active back and forth on both sides of the border. So for me, Amna has to represented, Mr. Yaqub presented many options like film, media, cultural, and people-to-people cooperation. My suggestion is that in this electronic and technological world, we would like to have a channel like we have in Pakistan, Discover Pakistan, and many vloggers. Those are actually presenting the true picture of any culture. In case of our country, Pakistan, what is the true color, culture, language, and the rituals in Pakistan we are experiencing. So we can have these sorts of exchange, short films, festivals, so we can better understand each other on the cultural level. And one thing is really important, you can learn culture through seeing, learning, and understanding. And the learning, understanding is come from the language, eroding the language barrier. So we need to work on the language program between Poland and Pakistan. Another thing the management is asking me to please conclude in 5 minutes. I will try my level best. In the morning they were telling me you have a lot of time to discuss so many things. Now they are telling me you have only 5 minutes. Look, I respect your decision, okay? So now coming to another paper on Pakistan-Poland relations for a prospect of peace and development by Sidra. Actually, when you talk about the peace and development, and peace and development always come through mutual understanding, trade cooperation, and through many things together. So peace and development always depends largely on the mutual understanding of both the countries. In case of us, Pakistan and Poland can revisit their foreign policy options, adjust their foreign policy agenda, and try to give more importance to the countries which we have put on the back burner in the last 70 years. Now, coming to my personal perceptions, and lastly, the paper of Dr. Madalena was really good. She was presenting the reflections of the refugee population and what was the scenario at that time back in 1940s and 60s and in my opinion, the refugee population is the most vulnerable population on earth, and keeping in mind this vulnerability, women and children are the most vulnerable among these vulnerable population, and in the course of displacement they experience a lot of pain and sufferings, and these sufferings have a three-dimensional approach: during the conflict, in the conflict, during the conflict, and after the conflict. And we need to address the situation according to the norms of your society, of any society, because the United Nations Refugee Declaration or Human Rights Declaration are not actually supporting the idea, or not supporting in letter and spirit the suffering of the refugee population. So we need to address all these refugees suffering in the light of a new dynamics of the new geopolitics, because now everything is just a click away. You can learn a good news by just a clicking the any social media contact, or you can came across with a bad news also with their own versions. Now, coming to my reflections, in the new geopolitical order, from yesterday and today, we also have came across through many papers of the young and our senior colleagues that what type of relationship on a political ground we want to have with Pakistan and Poland, what type of trade and cultural relation we want to have with Pakistan and Poland, and what type of defense and strategic cooperation we want to have with Pakistan and Poland. In this emerging new dynamics of the geopolitics, is actually, the term geopolitics is a covering word, and that over the last 100 years have particularly modified by the merging of a new dynamics of the international politics in thoughts and process. So we are living in an age of a critical geopolitics now. And in this critical geopolitics is starting from power structure, geopolitical factors, Lebensraum, more spaces, it's a German word. Then techno-territorial attacks, complexes, efficiencies, new power structures of it for gaining more power. So keeping in mind these needs of critical geopolitics, we need to have a new type of a critical foreign policy approaches towards making a new friends, new political arrangements, new economic arrangements in this critical geopolitics, and in there of new political economy and geoeconomics. We need to underpin by assumptions and schemes about the ways in which geographical divisions of the world, strategic plans enters into the making of a foreign policy and national interest. Now, coming to my topic of the session, the Pakistan-Poland cultural relationship. This is the most, I was listening to our presenter that everybody was talking about the soft part, which is really good if you want to experience the soft part. But in our critical geopolitics, we usually give very little space to soft power. We actually maneuver and wants to maneuver. The big powers wants to maneuver and try to play with the hard power. So cultural relationship is indeed a rich, and in case of Pakistan, we have a very rich and a very Pakistani culture, and it can be very interesting if we want to open a channel of new cultural exchange programs between Pakistan and Poland, new travel vlogs, new attracting and increasing number of travel packages to Pakistan from Poland, and from Poland to Pakistan, and from Pakistan to Poland. New tourist packages, new dimension of cultural diversity in which music, food, and festivals are included. And when I was going through for Pakistan and Poland cultural relationship, the scenario of between the two countries, so I came across that we already have the Polish government is also supporting the different school system in Chitral Valley or in Islamabad, in Islamabad, and came across also that we also have a joint collaboration of music based on our national poet Allama Muhammad Iqbal, between the Polish musicians and singer, and between the Pakistani and Polish music companies. Now, on a concluding remarks, I would like to say, students, that the new debate of contemporary international relations constitute the changing dynamics of a state relation based on an integrated global structure. Because we lived in a multi actors world, we cannot maneuver on the basis of an isolated approach. We have to integrate a global power structure by calculating the new dynamics of the international relation. And in this new dynamics, we have to calculate the existing world order of economics, interdependence, and the rise of a new alliances, particularly the economics, energy, transportation, and many more. And the CPEC is the good example of this huge alliance between Pakistan, China, and many countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear students and faculty members, I would like to conclude on the note that this is a very good opportunity that Pakistan and Poland can come together through this international cooperation by the Federal University, by us, and many collaborating partners. Thank you so much for having such a wonderful conference.